Listen Up is back looking at the church under siege, and in the wake of the sex abuse scandal in the Catholic Church, we're asking how a church with a broken reputation restores trust. Father Len, what is being done now to restore that trust?
Well, I can only speak from my own experience and how we approach this. The thing that I've heard most often from people is that they need, first of all, to be recognized and believed. Bringing this statement forward, saying that I have been abused. They need a response that says, we believe what you say, we recognize the hurt that has been perpetrated, and we apologize for that. And we accept our responsibility for what has happened. I think that's been the biggest shift, at least as far as we've experienced it. I can't speak for the whole church. I don't know how everybody does it. But there was a change that took place on the basis of our experience in the late 80s, early 90s, when things became very public. And I think most of, or a good many of the cases that we're dealing with now in the public forum relate to before that change took place.
Yes, it's taken a while to bubble them up.
It has taken a while, and hopefully more and more the church will be able to approach this from the perspective of recognizing the reality of the injury that has been done and respond with compassion, with justice, with respect, and with a humble seeking of forgiveness.
All right, we're going to go now to our audience, to a counselor of abuse survivors. And Sharon Pocock, what is it that abuse victims need to hear?
I think what they need to hear is a lot of what they're hearing right now, and a little more of it. The apology needs to be ongoing.
Okay, Sharon, I want to stop you right there for a moment, because I want to hear from someone who has had to forgive his abuser. Also in our studio audience from the Addiction Support Recovery is Glenn Allen. Glenn is a fellow broadcaster who crosses this issue every week. Glenn, is forgiveness possible?
I found forgiveness not through man, but through God. I left the church at 16. I was brought up in the church, and I actually hated God, because every time I heard of this loving God, it would drive me absolutely nuts, because my question was, where is he and where was he when all these things were happening to me? And I finally understood in my recovery that God doesn't interfere in man's free will. And maybe all the time when I was being abused, maybe there were rivers of tears in heaven. But the second that I put my hand in the hand of God and as a Christian, Jesus Christ, he then took everything that was meant to hurt me, every bit of evil in my life, and turned it into what drives me today. Do I need to go into a church and adhere to man-made rules? Absolutely not.
Okay, Glenn.
But today, I do, because the love of God is back in my heart, and I go because I want to. In that forgiveness, I took a chance, and I asked God for forgiveness.
Okay, Glenn.
And I found it.
Your life is living proof of that. Joanne McGarry, you hear the incredible hurt and anger that sits in the pews that, you know, your denomination, my denomination. What will it take? Is that, what is your conclusion?
Well, I think what we have to do now is learn as much as we possibly can from the mistakes of the past so that it doesn't happen again. Try to help the victims, give what outreach we can, whatever service might be available. You have to recognize, I think, there are limits to what you can do about things that happened 50 years ago, and a lot of the people are dead. There were very seldom any witnesses and so on. But that's no excuse. We have to do what we can. We have to try to help the victims. We have to try to prevent it from happening again, and know that we're not perfect.
Robert, you've heard the plea that we've got to try again, put ourselves back in relationship with the church, which holds the mystery of God. Does it work for you? Is it enough, what you've heard?
More needs to be done, and we have to remember that this is not something from the recent past, but it's been going on for ages, and it's still going on. And it will still be a problem because not enough has been done at the moment. So more needs to be done.
This is just the start, conversations like this.
Yes.
All right, when we come back, we'll share some closing thoughts on bringing conclusions to the painful issue of sexual abuse.